This is Timeout with uSTADIUM. This podcast is for you sports super fans, for you sports debaters, and yes, you, the sports opinionators or hot takers. We take your calls live on air and answer questions directly from the uSTADIUM app. Get it at uSTADIUM.com. Join in on the conversation with Brianna, Nick, and Frankie. Timeout with uSTADIUM starts now.
What up, what up, what up? Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Brianna, host of Timeout with uSTADIUM. We got Nick and Frankie, and welcome to our pre-draft show. I know it's hard to believe the draft is only a week away. It feels like we've been talking about it for like 6 months now. But we're getting closer and closer. We've got a lot of stuff planned for next week, but we've got a lot of stuff planned for today, including a fun little game that Frankie came up with. So you guys want to say hello, and then let's dive into it?
Yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Well, I just want to say something, everybody out there. Don't make Wednesday nights a boozing night, because Bree went out last night, as we can all tell. You know, Bree had a little bit of a night. So, wake up early on Thursdays and get the day started nice and fresh and have a nice coffee before 8 a.m. That's the key to success.
I'm even wearing a Dare sweatshirt to make sure everybody knows. Stay away from alcohol, children. It's not a good idea.
I'm just nerded out and ready for the draft. So that's where I am. That's basically where all my focus has been, but I'm excited for that. No drinking for me though, unfortunately.
Oh,
you look like such a little draft boy there. Look at you. You have a nice little shirt on.
I'm ready to go.
Glasses.
All right. Well, we have a fun game to play with probably a list of like 20 to 25 names. So this should take up a good chunk of the show. We're calling it the uSTADIUM Draft Stock Market segment. So the way this is going to work, we are going to rattle off some names of some prospects, mainly first round prospects. And we are going to go whether we're going to invest in them or whether we're going to pass. So if you see, for example, the way Frankie explained this is a lot better than I'm probably doing, but the way we're going to do this is Trevor Lawrence, for example. If you think he's got a high stock, his future has a high stock, you're obviously going to invest. If you don't, you're going to pass. Pretty self-explanatory. It makes a whole lot of sense. Not to me, because I don't know how this shit works in real life, nor the draft. But we're going to go. We're going to get it done. So are you guys ready to be some Wall Street business investors?
That's why I dressed up today. Ready to buy some stocks.
I'm the one in Midtown here, Nick. I'm the one in Manhattan. So you haven't been in Manhattan in how long? When's the last time you came down here?
I have no plan to go back there either.
Seriously, when's the last time you came down here?
Probably January of 2020, honestly.
Wow.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's been a while.
You live like 30 minutes away. Unreal.
I know.
Never come and visit me.
It was pre-COVID, that's for sure. It was
I've been there
a couple months before.
I've been there more recent than you, and I live like 3 hours away.
Honestly, if I never go back, I will not care.
Wow. Okay. I kind of agree. I'm not a big New York fan.
Whatever.
All right.
Haters.
So we're gonna run down the list. You guys are going to give me your answers. If you have explanations, add those too. And then if you guys in the comments obviously want to play along, you can type your response. Splash will throw them up. And we'll get going. So first and foremost, the number one overall pick, we obviously know who this is going to be, Trevor Lawrence. Are you investing in him and his future or not? Frankie, you want to go first?
Okay, so Trevor Lawrence, as Bree explained, is a stock. He's like Apple, Amazon. You're buying in high. You're not getting a value there. It's a high stock. However, I am investing in Trevor Lawrence's high stock. I think he will be as advertised, maybe even better, especially with the comments recently that are, bringing him down a bit in terms of people's value on him. I'm investing in Trevor Lawrence.
I am passing. I'm not going to invest. I just don't like Urban Meyer. I don't think he's going to be the guy to make this stock go from a very high stock to a gold standard. I don't think he's the guy. I don't think the Jacksonville franchise is the franchise to take this guy to the next level. So at that price, not that I would say it's a bad stock. I'm just not going to be buying at a high price and hoping he gets to an extraordinarily high price. So no, I'm passing on that one.
Interesting. I think I'm going to buy just because, like somebody commented, like he's the top prospect at quarterback since Andrew Luck, like 10 years ago. And I feel like that, you just don't pass up on that. But I've never really been a big Trevor Lawrence fan. I think he was a little overrated in college. But I'm not an idiot, so I'm going to invest.
It's a safe one.
Right. All right. Number 2, the future of the New York Jets. Zach Wilson.
I like the sound of that. I'm buying it, baby. I'm buying that.
That's worked well in the past, hasn't it, Nick?
That's Zach's Fifth Avenue. Is that what they're calling him? I think that's Wilson. How do you not buy that stock? I mean, look, I think this guy is he's the quarterback where the league is going. He plays a position like where the league is going, like the Mahomes route. Obviously Aaron Rodgers, but I don't want to put him in that category. But I think he's someone who's going to come in and inject some life into the Jets organization that's been so down. I mean, even Sam Darnold is so low key, low energy, like that cool California dude. So I think Wilson's going to come in and inject some life, and I think he's going to. With him and Saleh, I like the vibe there, and I think that they will bring this Jets franchise from a penny stock into at least a nickel. So I'll definitely buy that one right now.
Okay, I've been wrestling with this one for a while now. Now I need to decide. You know what, Nick? I'm investing.
Thank you. That's some good energy.
I'm gonna be a risky investor.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be a risk taker. But I'm investing fully prepared to lose it all. I am putting it in, and I am fully prepared. That's money. I'm throwing in $10K. I might not see a dime from it, and I can't get mad about it because I know with this investment that it could go completely south. The Lawrence stock, I'm expecting a return. This stock, I'm not, but I'm still investing. So you know what, Nick? I'll join you on that. I'm investing in Zach Wilson.
Ride the Wall Street Wilson wave. Let's go.
God, I'm not. For obvious
no,
reasons.
you think?
Shocking.
For obvious reasons.
What if the Pats are picking 2? You buying that stock?
What do you mean for obvious reasons? You need to give. Some.
Not at all.
No,
you don't like Wilson?
I would take Fields over Wilson.
Okay.
So no. That's.
I've said it here. If gun to my head, if I had to put the franchise on one's back, I'd take Fields. But I think for the Jets and the way it's set up, I like what we're going to be doing with him moving forward. I think with our new offensive coordinator, I just think it makes sense. So.
All right, number 3, which is most likely going to happen because I think the 49ers are going to shoot themselves in the foot with this pick. Mac Jones. Are we investing or are we not?
Go ahead, Frank.
I am not investing in Mac Jones. Not saying I'm not a fan of his and what he's done, but I think when you look back at this draft, you're going to have 2-3 quarterbacks that succeeded. I don't think Mac Jones is going to be in that conversation. I'm getting a lot of vibes with the Christian Ponders that we've seen in past drafts that have gone and been drafted a little high and overdrafted. Daniel Jones also. I just get those vibes with Mac Jones. And honestly, looking at his film, is it that impressive? I mean, these aren't throws that, top 10 quarterbacks haven't made before. What is his differentiator in the game? Alabama quarterbacks traditionally haven't done so well. I don't know. I'm still going to say this. I'd be shocked if the Niners take in 3rd. I just don't understand that pick. But to answer that, I am not investing in Mac Jones.
I'm buying heavy. I'm buying heavy on Mac Jones because I love the CEOs. I love the CEOs of the business. I love Nick Saban and I love Kyle Shanahan. So I think he's going to end up in San Francisco. I just have a weird feeling. And probably because I've done my research on the stock in the past few days, and the people that I've spoken with have really sold me on this guy, saying like, this guy is not somebody who's going to wow you on a pro day. He's not going to wow you on film. He's not going to wow you with things that the normal fan isn't going to see. He is the best diagnoser of a defense pre-snap, reading the defense, knowing where they're going to be before they know where they're going to be. That little subtle like nod or little head the head fake or that twitch of his arm that he has, he just knows where to put the ball. And he's one of the smarter guys that's been coming into the league for a long time. I've said since he was playing at Alabama, Chad Pennington, a healthy, a little bit more athletic Chad Pennington put Chad Pennington with Kyle Shanahan on the San Francisco 49ers. I think this guy, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't love him. I know a lot of people aren't excited about trading up for him at 3. If he goes 3 to San Francisco, man, this is a stock I would gladly buy. I'm a big fan.
Nick, are there any character concerns there for you?
No, not. So it's funny. I spoke with like a lot of people about all of these quarterbacks, and every response I got back was like, these are like 5 really good kids and 5 really good like they all have leadership qualities. Usually there's those like little things. I mean, obviously the DUI, but that's kind of a one-off thing. But I don't think there's a big character concern. Devonta Smith loves him, said he'd rather have him than Tua. Jalen Waddle, same thing. So I think he's a guy that guys like to play for. He makes enough throws on tape. He makes enough throws in the game to get by. He's not going to wow you. So I think he's somebody that if you put him in the right place, like a San Francisco, look at that little dip. I mean, obviously Devonta blew by the corner.
Nick,
there,
who used to do that little dip there? A quarterback we used to.
What do you think of Sanchez?
Yeah, exactly. Don't.
Sanchez is like 5 inches small.
Nothing I haven't seen before. Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, Fields, impressive tape. This guy, he's going top 10 or, maybe even top 5. I don't see anything there.
If he was going anywhere but San Francisco, I'd probably have a harder time buying the stock. But based on what I've spoken to people about, what they've said about him, not people like on the street, like fans, people in the NFL in the circles who are making decisions, in the coming draft in a week. He's a lot like scouts, executives, GMs like this guy a lot more than the fans do. That's like what I've been trying to tell people, in this process is he's underrated by the fans and probably overrated by the NFL.
All right. Kyle Pitts, somebody who Nick has gone on record saying is the most talented prospect in this draft.
He might have the highest buy price, by the way. Him and Trevor Lawrence.
That's why
you have to put that in.
I'm passing.
And you know what?
I love him. Yeah, I love the player.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, because I think we're going into the draft expecting so much from him. Like this is a stock you're going to buy probably at the top of your list, right? I mean, he's the best playmaker in the draft, one of the best freakish athletes to come into the draft in a long time. But you're going to put him in the NFL, and where is he going to play? Is he going to line up at tight end, traditional tight end spot? Are you expecting Travis Kelce out the gate? I don't think you're going to see that. So if he goes to Atlanta, he goes to Miami, I don't know if he's going to put up the production you're expecting with Kyle Pitt, with the guy you're drafting 5 or 6 overall. I think, Jamar Chase is a better option because he's going to play, a traditional receiver, and he's going to see a lot more, balls in the NFL, at least in his first year. Pitts, to me, is a guy who's he's not your main piece in your offense. He could be a great supplemental piece and be such a huge mismatch, but I'm not investing top dollar on a stock with him.
We're getting a lot of comments right now. We have Holden in the comments. What's up, Holden? Holden's the man.
Justin, what's up, man?
Holden's number 1 Rams fan online. Holden right there, my guy.
Legend.
Justin out there. Justin Drums, the GOAT. Dan Hackett in the chat. What's up, fellas?
What's up, boys?
Giving some shout-outs in the chat. Javier's in the chat. Guys, give it that thumbs up. You guys rock. Thanks for joining us on the show. I don't know why.
Is he here? There he is.
Yeah, Javi, where are you at, man? We have to get Javi we have to get him in the chat on the show one day. Out of the chat on the show.
We got to do a quick roll call. That's all.
All right, with Kyle Pitts, I am not buying the stock. However, it's going to be a regret of mine down the line. I just know it. We're saying now we're not going to buy the stock, and then down the line we're going to look back, Nick, I think, and the receipts are out there with what we just said, and we're going to regret not buying the stock. But why I'm not buying the stock is he needs to be – well, actually – he's just a unique player that we've never seen before at the position. So I always get weary of guys doing things at positions that we've never seen before. He may reinvent the tight end position for years to come. But I'll give an example on the defensive side. I remember Deion Jordan when he was coming into the draft. He was looked at as a hybrid linebacker, defensive end, could play edge, could even line up at like a new school safety role. Like he could play anywhere on defense. He was that fast and aggressive. Players like that, you have to be careful because when you don't have a true position in football, it's tough to know exactly where to line you up. If they line him up at tight end, is he going to be strong enough to get off the line versus usual jam coverage? Is he not going to be able to run block? And then that puts the offense in a predicament when he's on the field because it's going to be a pass. So the offensive coordinators don't want him lined up at tight end. If he plays wide receiver, is he really a wide receiver? So that's my whole thing with him, but he may reinvent the position.
He's so good though, man. I love this player.
Yeah, I mean, looking at this tape,
I just think I'm thinking too short term. I know. I'm thinking too short term with him. I think he'll get into the league and wherever he goes, that coach is going to have a guy who can do anything, and it's like a piece of clay that you can mold into like this crazy mismatch. Like you won't be able to find a better mismatch. And yeah, even what Conflict said, similar to Darren Waller, who now is an absolute stud. So, a little bit more athletic Darren Waller would be, God, such a gadget you could use in an offense. So, not to knock this guy at all, but anyway, I digress.
Yeah. And Dan, just bringing up Dan Hackett's comment, I agree to an extent with what you're saying. I am comparing an offense to defense. I'm just saying they're shattering the mold at their position. He's going to have to shatter the mold at his position, Kyle Pitts, I think, for you to get the value that you're expecting from him. And it looks like he's going to go top 5. I still think he's going to go top 5, Nick. I think he's the first non-quarterback taken in this
similar
draft,
to Isaiah Simmons last year, too. He struggled with Arizona.
These guys struggle. Yeah. Remember, what's his name? O.J. Howard, tight end. I mean, he was coming in as this freakishly athletic tight end, and they still don't know where to put him. He really is not a run blocker. He's fast, but he's not that fast. This guy is that fast.
It's such a hard position. The transition from college to the NFL at tight end is, besides for quarterback and maybe corner, it's like one of the hardest positions to transition and expect production right away. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up and how they use him, in the first year.
Yeah.
All right. We ready to move on?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can move quicker on these next ones. That was a little long-winded.
This whole segment is about receipts. This next guy, we have receipts from Frankie from when we first started this show, saying that he would want to take him number 2 overall. Does anybody else remember this?
Who said that? Pitts.
You said this. Penei Sewell.
That's my guy.
I'm just saying. We're saying that we're making this a receipt segment. I have the receipts. So here we go. This is who we're talking about. Invest or not?
Out, Frank.
I have a man crush on Penei Sewell. This is my homie. This is the guy I'm getting real wasted with, and then at the end of the night, we're walking back arm in arm, just loving up on each other, some bro love.
Oh my God.
Penei
This
Sewell,
is who Colgate saw in you, Frank.
Yeah, I know. Then they got
Greg
Terrence
Robinson.
Warmack, yeah. No, Penei Sewell's my guy. I'm a huge fan. I am buying the stock. I am buying it big. I'm going a big buy order with Penei Sewell. He's amazing. I think if he was in another draft, we might be talking about him being the number 1 overall pick. He's really that good. Look at how he moves. He's balanced. He's a monster, literally. So whoever gets him is going to get a perennial left tackle. And I like the fact that he's been working out. I've been reading at other positions. He's showing, scout evaluators that he's willing to play right tackle and potentially if they want to play him at guard, which he's not. But that's how much of a competitor he is. And look at him move. I mean, he's amazing. I'm buying Penei Sewell all day.
Yeah, I'm buying him because I always buy offensive line stock. I will never not buy offensive lineman stock. I think in this league, if you think you have enough offensive linemen, you got to buy another offensive lineman. So I love this guy. I agree with you, Frank. I wish the Jets were in a position that they didn't have to take another quarterback because I would be all over this guy. And if the Bengals do not take him 5 overall and they take a receiver, they should probably be kicked out of the league. But regardless, I'm buying the stock. I'm buying it heavy, and I will buy every offensive lineman you put up there, especially in this draft. I love this offensive line class.
If the Bengals don't
Justin, I agree.
If the Bengals don't end up taking him, poor Joe Burrow's knees you're going to hear them scream all the way.
They have enough. T. Higgins has shown plenty to be a guy. They do not need to take a receiver. They can get one in the second round. Don't worry about it. Get this guy.
I'm investing too. I love a good offensive lineman. It's that simple. Okay, back to the quarterbacks. Trey Lance. What are we doing with him?
Selling, too risky. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
I'm buying. I think he has the makeup eventually. I think he'll be really good. He reminds me of Jordan Love a little bit, who I really liked out of college. So, by the way, Bree, you know what I heard about Jordan Love? You know, your Patriots might have a draft day trade in line with the
Please don't.
Trust me, he's not as bad as people think at this point. I'm telling you, Jordan Love's pretty good. He reminds me of Jordan Love a lot. I like both of them. So
I saw the tweet. I saw who it came from. It's so on
garbage,
being completely wrong. That
Jordan Love's a little thicker though, with the 2 C's, boy.
A little bit, yeah.
With the 2 C's. I'm gonna invest in Trey Lance with the stipulation that he redshirts for a year. You get him in a good system. He sits and he learns for a solid season with a good coach, not necessarily good, but a serviceable quarterback ahead of him who he may be even able to take over at the end of the season. I'm taking him. I think he has more upside than people think.
Dan's buying. He'll be the best quarterback in the draft when all is said and done, especially in Atlanta with Arthur Smith.
Justin's buying. All right, Justin. You
wow,
buying.
I'm out on a limb by myself here.
Who else is buying?
I don't dislike Trey Lance.
All right, Nick, we have a question for you from Holden. Nick, would you rather have Jordan Love or Jared Goff?
You could put anybody before Goff, and I would take anybody.
All right,
I wouldn't take Jordan Love.
Cam Newton or Jared Goff.
I will take Cam because I know what to expect.
I don't know about that.
I don't want Goff.
Honestly, I think if it's between Cam and Goff, I think I'm taking Cam.
I would probably take Goff too, actually. I don't know. At least he could throw the ball down the field a little bit.
I don't know. There's just something about Jared Goff that I can't.
There's nothing about Jared Goff. That's his problem.
That's
There's nothing
probably
to him.
what it is.
There's nothing to him. He is the wettest noodle in the NFL like you'll ever find. So. No, thank you.
Oh, man. All right. Another quarterback. This one is he's a big topic of conversation right now. Justin Fields. He's been rumored to be tied to a lot of places, the Patriots being one of them. What are we doing with him? This one's interesting, I think.
Ding, 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 ding. I'm at the NASDAQ on the ticker, buying. I am buying.
You're throwing money out.
I am throwing it all.
Frank, let me get some of this.
Yeah, between him and Panay Sewell, I'm gonna have to close my Venmo account, or they're gonna close it on me. So no, I am buying Justin Fields all day, all night. Most underappreciated asset or quarterback in this draft class. I don't understand what it is with people that they want to find all these reasons for Justin Fields not being an exceptional talent, a leader, a winner, a big-time playmaker in big games, someone who's overcome adversity, switched schools, played through injury, had one of the best precision passing rates by all the next-gen stats, breakdowns that you can find. I mean, he's amazing. I don't know what else you want. I think he's a better prospect coming out than Lamar Jackson was. I think he's better coming out than even Jared Goff was, who we're just talking about. Why was Jared Goff the first overall pick and this guy can't be the first overall pick? Does that make any sense to anyone? Why was Carson Wentz the second pick and this guy's might go out of the top 10? It's ridiculous. So Sam Darnold is going to get drafted higher than he is. Justin Fields, whoever gets him, you got yourself a winner for a long time. And he's going to go to a team that's better than teams selecting in the top 5. He'll go to a team that has some assets and some foundation to them that he'll be able to play well, similar to what Herbert did last year when he got drafted. So I'm big on Fields, huge.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to stay consistent, if I'm selling Lance, I'm going to sell Fields too, just because I might be too influenced by what I've heard from people, just talking throughout, talking to different people, and they are very worried about this guy at the next level. And it makes sense, the release, the slow release, the locking on to one read. I don't think that's like a death wish, to be honest with you. I think that's something a good coach can coach out of you, but I don't want to have somebody coach a bad habit out of you already if I'm investing in a high stock. So for that reason alone, I feel like, what's that, Shark Tank? For that reason alone, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm investing just because of all the talk that he might be headed to New England. I don't want to be that asshole that completely just trashes the guy that might be the future.
So it's a homer buy.
And for that alone, I'm in. You have my investment, Mr. Fields. Okay, receivers. This one is interesting because we had a lot of good receiver talk, especially the SEC boys. So let's start with LSU. Jamar Chase, who is arguably the best receiver in this draft.
Buying, absolute animal. I think he's going to be a top 10 receiver, like right out of the gate. I think he's going to have a huge rookie season, depending where he goes, obviously. But I think he makes your quarterback better. I think he's an explosive player, but he does everything really, really well. There's no weakness in his game. I don't think he's going to – I think there's like no chance he fails in the NFL, so I'm buying it heavy.
I'm buying his plays, so he's not a big receiver necessarily. So I'm a little weary on those things, but overall, I'm buying as well. But yeah, I'm still a little bit worried about those two things. I can't get those out of my head. I thought, looking at his measurements, I actually thought he was taller when he came in at 6 foot flat. I'm like, it's a little short for a guy that looks like he's bigger, which is a good thing. But you get a little ankle or something, you don't have that size, it can hurt you a bit. But that's it. I mean, everything else he's exceptional. So I'm buying also, but I'm not buying big. I'm not putting in a lot of money on Chase, honestly, because his stock is high. We're talking about players that are deemed these perennial top 5 talents at their position over the last even 10 years. Chase, Lawrence, Sewell. This draft's amazing, by the way. We're talking really about guys that if they were in any other years, they're all going top 3, honestly. Literally. There's like 6 or 7 guys in this draft that would go top 3 in other years, and I think.
So I think I'm with you, Frank. I think I'm going to buy, but I'm going to, maybe $10. Just
that's it?
Just that.
Yeah, we need to pay. Bray, maybe we're not paying you enough. I don't know. $10.
Toss a little bit more my way. Feel free. Yeah,
add a few more zeros to that.
Sign up for a Robinhood account. They'll give you $5 to sign up. So you do 15. Yeah.
It's cheaper than Frank's OnlyFans subscription.
But this is going to go down a rabbit hole that it doesn't need to go
have you
down.
ever, Nick, you have to be honest here. You have to be 100% honest. I know your wife watches the show.
I'm scared.
No, she's not.
Nick, have you ever logged in to OnlyFans or looked at the website?
Never.
You've never gone to
I couldn't tell you what color the logo is.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
I don't buy it. Bree, what do you think? Are you telling the truth? I don't buy it. Has Nick ever went to OnlyFans? I'm telling you,
there's no reason to because
Nick's
it's
on
not
social media all day. He's never been on.
I think you asked me to look into it for the subscription model, and I still didn't even do it.
That's a lie.
I have looked into Patreon, though. I do know that. I don't know if that has any kind of innuendo either, but
kind of close, not the same.
Just like I never saw any of the dating apps either. I couldn't tell you what color the logos are. I'm a big logo guy.
Girls I went to college with that made them. So I did a little, snooping one day to see, just because I want to know. I'm nosy. You click the link and you have to pay as soon as you get there. So what the hell?
So they don't let you browse?
Yeah. What the hell's the point of clicking the link?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is going to go way too far than it really is.
We had an intern on uSTADIUM that I'm not going to disclose his name. But he comes up to me one day and he goes, Frankie, I have something for you. He's like, we're doing subscriptions, right? We've introduced subscriptions on the app and we're looking to do some more stuff with them. He goes, I have 15 OnlyFans accounts that I bought through this third-party site and you can use their username and passwords. So we logged in We just logged in to look at this site. We're looking at how the subscriptions are set up. This is the stuff you do. But he has like 15 just generic username and passwords that you can use, and they have subscriptions set up on there. So the answer is I've been on only, huh?
What, did he win a contest or something?
No, it's like these third-party sites you go to. Like it's like a site in Germany that they hacked some usernames and passwords, and you could just like buy these accounts. You could do it for Netflix. You can do it for Amazon Prime. It's like there's a market for this. Nick,
This
you're in
sounds
tech.
highly illegal.
I know it's huge. I know it's
I didn't buy it. He
massive.
bought it. He logged in from his computer. I just went on.
Yeah, don't come to him.
Yeah.
Frank Holden wants to know if he can use uSTADIUM points for chicken cutlet sandwiches.
I
we can
had
set
one
something
today.
up?
I
had one
today,
yesterday.
You guys.
I had one yesterday. What was on yours?
I was chicken prime.
Okay. Does that count as like? I guess.
Yeah, they're chicken cutlets. Yeah.
I know, but it's like
It barely counts. It just hits. It just hits as acceptable.
It counts.
No, okay.
It's chicken cutlets.
You don't say chicken
Yes.
cutlet when you get a chicken parm, so
Right.
it technically doesn't count.
No, but when people ask, "Oh, what's in it?" Yeah, chicken
I
cutlet.
guess some people do say, "Can I have a chicken cutlet parm?" Like if you're like uncultured
Never actually
swine.
heard that.
some mozzarella, some provolone?
I've heard people say, "Can I have a
All
chicken
right.
cutlet parm?" But regardless,
Holden, how about this? I'll make this declaration to Holden. Holden, chicken cutlet sandwich wherever you're at.
He's in
does
Florida.
Holden live in Florida, right? Holden, wherever you find a place in Florida on uSTADIUM, we'll get you.
we'll get you some alligator cutlets down there.
Go to,
And don't worry about the points.
Publix, right? There's Publix in Florida.
Yeah, I think so. Is Publix
Next person
though?
to send uSTADIUM Twitter
Publix
a
is
picture
good.
of themselves with a chicken cutlet sandwich. It doesn't matter what's on it. We'll buy you the next chicken cutlet sandwich. So if you're
All right,
listening and you have one, send it.
Splash has an idea. Splash, you want to throw that up in the little comment thing? Your little idea there. I'm down with that.
What do you say?
He's
I don't want to be like Michael Kay and leave like 60 seconds of dead air. So what does he say?
He goes 6th to 10th place in the draft contest should get chicken cutlets.
Deal.
Okay.
That's a good idea. I like that. Maybe Jeremy could freeze some and send them out. We'll buy them and we'll ship them out. There you go. I like
There
that.
we
We'll
go.
get into the draft contest and what we're doing over this next week. We got a lot of stuff going on, but we'll wrap up the stock market. I think the
Let's
closing
go through
bell
this
hits
one.
soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got 4 more on this list.
Let's do
and like
it.
I said, we're really just doing the top. We're not going through the entire first round because we don't have the time nor the attention span to do that.
That's a fact.
All right. Micah Parsons. He's had some question marks around him, but I think I'm investing.
Wow, really?
I think so.
I'm selling. I've heard too many really kind of nasty things about this dude. And what's he going to be like? And there's some allegations about some
His
I don't even
OnlyFans
wanna call it
account?
hazing. I don't even want to joke around about like hazing or whatever. Like there's some ugly. I'm sure some of the listeners know some allegations about what he did to some recruit or potential recruits to Penn State and some kind of hazing stuff, and and how much does he love the game? I just heard so many. I like the player a lot. I remember watching him 2 years ago, and I was like, wow, this kid's going to be something else. Like, he flashes on in games more than he does on tape for sure. But I'm just too worried about the off the field issues with him, so I'm not buying.
Yeah. Okay. I'm out. On the field, I mean, I love it, but that I can't mess with that. So never mind. Change my answer.
There's a quote about defensive players versus offensive players. A defensive player is a guy wearing a leather jacket who asks you, "How much are you paying me?" and then spits when he turns around and he's walking back. That's the kind of guy that maybe Micah Parsons is. I'm just assuming based on what you're saying. Looks like a tough, scrappy kind of player. I'm buying that stock. I'm not buying big. I don't think he'll be perennial necessarily, but I think he moves like a top player on defense. He looks like one. He's jacked. He's got size. He's 6'3", 245. Look at him. No hesitation.
It's a good buy low stock for sure.
Yeah, he knows. He looks like a great player. I've seen him play a few times this year also, and he flashes on the screen. So I'm buying Micah Parsons.
Interesting. I genuinely didn't know that stuff, the hazing stuff. That's awful.
Yeah, I could send it to you after.
Oh, I don't know if I want to read it. I believe you.
What's up with Penn State and hazing? I feel like every other day or every other year I look and Penn State's doing some weird stuff with their frat scene. I'm like, what the hell's going on there?
I don't know. All right.
I'll bite
Patrick
my tongue.
Surtain. Yeah, please. Patrick Surtain Jr. Somebody else that I really like. So please don't tell me any off the field things about him.
No off the field issues. I don't see that dog in him. I don't love Alabama corners. I think Saban runs these defensive guys into the ground. I'll tell you who I do like. Probably he's the next guy coming up. I don't see that fight in Patrick Surtain.
He better hope he goes somewhere that he has some help around him. I'm not a big fan of his.
Really?
Yeah, he's a guy that everyone's talking about. When you see his tape too, things kind of fall into his lap. Is he doing anything athletically that's superior? I wouldn't compare him to D. Milner. D. Milner was
just an Alabama corner that's beat up.
I didn't even like D. Milner out of college, man. We used to argue about him all the time. So yeah, I don't compare him to D. Milner. I think he has a lot better of a shot being successful than D. Milner. I agree. But there's something about him. He seems just not to. He doesn't do it for me. And listen, we're talking about 15 to 18 players we're going through. There's only going to be 5 to 6 of these guys. They're all good players on, coming out and on tape. There's only going to be 5 to 6 or maybe top 7 that are going to be successful NFL players. There's going to be busts. We just went through 4 busts, potentially 5. So that's how the draft works. Go back and look at other draft classes. I feel this one's better, but you're going to be surprised. I think he'll be a name that we look at and we're like, he was all right.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you guys want to stay in the position or do you want to stay in the school for the next one?
Stay in the position. I know who you're going to bring up that Nick loves. You're going to bring him up.
I know
one of my favorite players in the draft.
Nick,
JC Horn.
Yeah.
JC Horn. I was about to curse with an F-bomb. That's a dude, man. Like JC Horn is a dude. If a team drafts another corner over this guy, it's just they outsmart themselves. They fall for the Alabama, name. They fall for Nick Saban. They fall for the Surtain last name. JC Horn, even though his father is Joe Horn, but he is just a disgusting, he loves football. He's such a competitor that he'll man you up. He's just tough as hell. He's locked down some of the best players in college football. This is the only cornerback. Maybe this is the only defensive player worth a top 10 pick in this draft. He's been my cornerback one for a long time. I let people kind of ride the Alabama Surtain train. I let them ride the Caleb Farley Virginia train. I love JC Horn. He's coming and I'm pissed because he would be the only corner or defensive player I would be happy with that the Jets took at 23. And there was a time where he was around, going in that 20 to 25 range. You can kiss that goodbye. He won't get past the Giants pick at 11 if he's there.
This is tough for me. Again, it's similar to Surtain. When I watch their film, I'm just not that impressed. But everything about JC Horn, and Richard Sherman loves JC Horn, and NFL players in the league now talk about how JC Horn has that dog that you're looking at when you're coming into the league. It has that swag of a corner. So if I had to buy or sell, if I had to buy or not buy, I'd buy, but I'd buy very small because of what the league says about him and the personality he has, and his dad's Joe Horn, and I like all those things. But again, watching the film, something's off with Surtain too. I don't know, something just doesn't flash to me. But I also said the same thing, just to be transparent, about Jalen Ramsey. I didn't.
Who he works out with.
Interesting, yeah. I'm not surprised.
Same agent.
Yeah, Ramsey coming out, I wasn't in love with, because I guess maybe as a Jets fan, we've seen Revis and how good his hips are. These guys only have those hips even close. So I always look at those hips, but I feel like all corners now are a little bit stiff and strong. So, I mean,
it's a hard position to play
as I'd like, but yeah.
Yeah, it's such a hard position to play. It's a hard transition, and the league does not do it any favors. You can't be physical anymore. So you got to be Revis wasn't very physical. He jammed you, but his hips, like you mentioned, his technique, the way he studied, he was just the perfect corner. If anybody in this class is going to be like a Revis or a Ramsey, it's going to be JC Horn. I have probably more sure about him than anybody else in the draft, maybe besides Kyle Pitts. But those are my two guys.
We got a comment right here, Bree. This
Nice,
is Bree's
Luis.
guy, Luis Sanchez. That's Mark Sanchez's cousin, by the way. I don't know if you know this. Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey loves J.C. Horn. There you go. Good point.
Bree, what did you think of Mark Sanchez, by the way? I always wanted to ask you this. You've never brought him up on the show. I feel like you have an opinion on Mark Sanchez. I just wanted you to give us your opinion.
No matter what he did in the playoffs in 2010, the butt fumble is so seared into my brain. That's all I can think about when I see him. When I hear his name, when I see him, anything, he just makes me laugh hysterically. It's one of the greatest. So he really is one of the greatest people I've ever come in contact with in my life, even just watching it on TV, because he brings me so much happiness because of that.
He definitely made you cry in 2010.
Do you think his cousin Luis likes what you just said? You had an opportunity there to say something nice.
His cousin's a great guy who brings me happiness. What's not to like?
Yeah, over a butt fumble.
Oh, please. I'm sure people say worse.
Yes.
Not very nice. Luis, I'm sorry about that, man.
Hey, Luis, your cousin, while he wasn't very good,
okay?
He did lead the Jets to probably their most successful run in franchise history. So can't take that away. Even though he was more along for the ride, he made some big plays in the playoffs. I'll give him that.
Oh, no, he said he's on some Twitter. Luis, I take it back. Don't go. Oh, all in good fun. The butt fumble is just one of my favorite memories. That's all. And it brings me happiness. So I'm sure it would make Mark happy to know that he made somebody else happy. Isn't that what life is all about? Happiness.
Sure.
Sanchez had a cool TikTok video. So
oh, yeah, you sent me that.
He gained a lot of points in my book with that. I was never a Sanchez guy, but yeah, I love that video. It's like, oh, this is my first day on TikTok. And then the video's like, oh, this is my last day on TikTok. And then it's funny.
All right, we have two more. We've went back and forth with these two for a few weeks now. We know where Frankie stands on this, but Jalen Waddle, are we buying? Are we skipping over this and saving our money for the next guy?
I want nothing to do with people that are compared to Tyreek Hill. If you have to compare someone to Tyreek Hill, who's like a once-in-a-generation freak wide receiver, what do you expect? This guy's not as fast as Tyreek Hill. Nobody is. He's not as explosive as Tyreek Hill. He's small. He doesn't have the numbers. Put in Jalen Waddle's stats. This is the guy that everyone thinks is going to be good. And unless he has a quarterback that's able to give him the ball in pinpoint spots, I just don't see it with Jalen Waddle. Could be wrong, obviously. We could be wrong about all of our picks, but I would not invest a penny in Jalen Waddle. Sorry for the hate on Jalen. I know some people like him. I'm not trying to hate on the guy. I want him to be successful. I do. I want every player, to be successful in some regard. But I don't know. Jalen Waddle, to me, he's going to go higher than he should. And is his route running there? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I think this is the one guy. I think this is our big disagreement this year, Frank. So I like Waddle a lot. I don't like him in the class that I like Chase for sure. And I have a hard time kind of ranking the 2020 and 2021 receiver class and where I would put Waddle. I probably have to just make a decision. I think I like Judy a little bit better than I like Waddle, but I think Waddle could be more successful in the NFL. I'm not really worried about the injury. I would buy it low, I think. Lightning in a Waddle. That's what they were saying on Good Morning Football. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's so corny.
Because they were talking about the Chargers getting him. The Lightning, the Charger.
Still, but okay, I can see it. Okay.
These fast receivers that come out, John Ross, Henry Ruggs, they do nothing in the NFL.
Dudes. Henry Ruggs was overrated every single day. Because he's a little track runner. That's all he is.
What is this guy? Look at this
guy's
tape.
A complete receiver. He can play all three spots. He's not limited to just a track,
You think he didn't benefit from playing with the Heisman Trophy winner and Najee Harris? Of course,
but he was better than Devonta Smith was before last year.
No, he wasn't. So. He's not even close.
He's better now than Devonta Smith is.
Not even close.
All right,
what are you smoking there, dude?
This brings up our next guy. Both of you shush.
Unbelievable.
So
I hate when Nick disagrees with me.
So here's all right. I think there's only one, right?
No,
I'm gonna side with Frankie on this, just for selfish reasons alone.
To me. There's too many sightings with him today.
Selfish reasons.
I know. Bree's following the path.
Yeah.
She knows what's good.
She knows. Like the second time. I desperately want the Patriots to end up with Smith. And I don't care what anybody says about his size or his weight. I don't care. If that's going to affect his draft stock to the point where he falls to 15, freaking great. Let it. That'd be awesome. So I think I'm going to pass on Waddle. I'm going to pass on Waddle and invest in Smith for the Patriots alone. The Patriots fan and me alone.
I will do the opposite with a smile on my face.
Since Bree joined uSTADIUM, she's become a significantly smarter.
I actually have paid more
that is a grade A+ opinion. That is a GM 1020 opinion. I love that.
The advanced course. That's what it is.
Well, let's hope Brianna has a better track record of drafting wide receivers than the one Bill Belichick does.
Listen, if it gets me a job, whoo.
That was a dig, Nick. I like that one.
She deserves it. Right. She's dead to me. I told you that.
He's right, though.
I'm selling Devonta Smith if that's the next question.
Oh, my.
Bateman is better. Agreed, Javier. Javier is a legend on the app, too, by the way. I think he doesn't get the recognition.
How do you're a wide receiver, and I will say Nick's, for the most part, his track record with wide receivers has been pretty good. Outside of Tavon Austin, Nick, I'm never going to let up that for my entire
today.
Tavon Austin, another guy like Jalen Waddle that everyone's obsessed with. That's a small, speedy receiver that can never translate into the NFL.
There's a lot of them. Speedy receiver.
Devonta Smith is amazing. Look how smooth he is. You love those smooth route runners that got some wiggle.
I like Devonta. I don't love him. Definitely don't love him.
I think he's going to be really good. I think he's going to be really good.
If he puts just a little bit more muscle on, just a little bit more weight.
I weighed more than him in third grade.
You can't touch a receiver now anyway. If this was 98 and you had corners that are holding you at the line of scrimmage, you had Champ Bailey out there that's pressing you up. Those days are over. You can't even touch a guy anymore. He's
going to get swallowed up, to be honest.
From who? The corners stink in the NFL now too, honestly. There's like 4 or 5 good ones. The rest of them, it's all zone protection anyway out there. They don't play man anymore.
Justin, I hope Devonta ends up with the Dolphins. That'll be great. That'll go as well as your picks last year, all 3 of them.
There we go, Justin. Justin's my guy. Justin disagrees with everything Nick says, by the way.
No, he doesn't. I think he was on with me the whole day.
All right. Well, this took an hour.
The stock market closed?
Yeah.
Wow.
The bells were closing.
It didn't feel like it went too long, though.
Took an hour. It took 51 minutes. We had some good conversation in there, though.
I think
we got a little sidetracked with an OnlyFans discussion.
Oh, OnlyFans and chicken cutlets
of all things. It's a really weird combination. We have 2, I guess, mini topics that we kind of just want to touch on before we finish off the show. So, my guy Tom Brady made headlines today for the reason of going full Karen on the NFL and this rule change. And I love Tom Brady. I'll defend him until the day I freaking die. This was a little bit much. And I understand where he's coming from, but like, dude. So with the NFL and the owners agreeing to the rule that expands the numbers, so now linebackers can wear single digits, D-backs can wear single digits, things like that. Tom Brady took to his Instagram story today and said something along the lines of, there's going to be a lot of bad football. And then he goes on to say, why have numbers? Just have colored jerseys. Why not wear the same number? This is dumb.
I mean, this is coming from like the most prepared guy in history. How is a number going to be a difference?
This is the reason why I kind of understand why he's saying this. I don't agree with it because you are the most decorated quarterback in the history of the league. You are the most dominant quarterback in the history of the league. If anybody's going to not have a problem with this, it's going to be you. But I think in terms of preparedness at the line of scrimmage, calling out blitzes, things like that, you can't just say, 54 is the mic now.
One is the mic.
You're going to say like, what, 6? So I get it. It's going to take some getting used to. But again, Tom, if anybody's going to be able to do it, it's going to be you. shut up. It's fine.
I agree. He's a traditionalist like myself. I don't like the rule. I don't like football changing, period, because I like old school football. I think, Bree, you said it, like, I would have 100% have rathered the helmet change rule and being able to go back to wearing retro uniforms. I loved I think it was 2009 when they did, all those throwbacks. I love that. I don't like this number change. It's going to look weird. It's going to look like a video game. It's going to look like a preseason game. I don't want to see, like, I guess the linebackers wearing, it's just going to look so weird. I don't care at the end of the day, but like, I'm a traditionalist. I think Brady, you can say, is too. I don't like it, but for Brady, is he really like that riled up about it? You don't really see him complain about anything. He's
this
like,
was bad.
The poster
went
boy
off.
for the NFL. Yeah, I've
never seen him go off like this before. I've never seen Brady call out the NFLPA, tag them, say this is trash. Like you know what it is. The
NFLPA, the players don't like DeMaurice Smith, and they're trying to distance or like rip this guy as subtle without really ruffling feathers as they can. And this was like an easy way for him to do it. I think if they had their way, they would replace DeMaurice Smith, but I think it has a lot to do with that. I don't think many people on the Players Association like DeMaurice Smith.
I saw a tweet. I can't remember who it's from, but it said it perfectly that Tom Brady took the NFL to court and he's complaining more about this than he is
seriously
the entire Deflategate scandal. And then the other thing when it comes to this rule change is if a player is going to change their number. So for example, if Aaron Donald changes his number, let's say he goes to 50, 99 to 50, he has to buy out his jersey inventory of 99.
Yeah.
How stupid is this?
Yeah, I hope a lot of guys don't do it. I just hope they're like, whatever, it's not worth it, and just kind of be done with it. But I'm sure some guys will.
Yeah, I don't mind it much I think it's kind of cool for linebackers to be able to wear like 2 or 5 or something. I think it looks, I just like the look. I think it looks kind of cool. I'm not a big fan of running backs being able to wear those high numbers or low numbers actually. I don't know. I don't like it. I think I
don't like it at all, any of this.
Yeah, like if Saquon wears like 2, I just feel like it'll look weird, and he's looking at maybe changing his number. He tweeted out the other day, Saquon, saying, would you guys be mad at me if I change from 26? So people are like, yeah, have your jersey. By the way, I don't think it's a big deal if you have someone's jersey that, let's say you have Saquon and he's 26 and he changes. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's kind of cool that you have like the original Saquon Giants jersey, like a different number. I don't think that's bad. Am I like the only one that feels that way?
Well, no. So that poses another question. Are they going to do like jersey swaps? Like you go to the pro shop with the old jersey and you exchange it for the new? Are they going to allow that?
I feel like they might do something like that. They're usually pretty good with that. Yeah.
Our owner, Will Johnson, the cheap bastard there, he's not doing that.
It's a really bad example, but like when the whole shit with Aaron Hernandez happened, you could bring his jersey to the pro shop and swap it for whatever the hell you wanted.
Yeah.
It's obviously not the same circumstance, but things like that. So it'll be, I don't like it.
I don't either.
I think I'm so set in my ways of seeing linebackers in the 50s or the 90s, seeing corners in between, 20 to 40.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like it.
I love this comment by Jonah Williams. I could not agree more, my man. Brady's going to end up in an old folks home in 5 years. He can manage a couple more years with this change. He's absolutely right.
And 3 more.
My man, Jonah. Shout out to Jonah.
Jonah's the man.
Yeah, Jonah's a GOAT app user.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this last topic before we kind of explain to you what we're doing next Thursday for round 1 of the draft. So what are your guys' bold predictions for next weekend? I feel like we've talked about this before, but let's get this finalized so we have the receipts. We can come back to it. Bold predictions for the 2021 NFL draft. Go.
My bold prediction, if San Fran passes on Mac Jones at 3, the Broncos and Dolphins make a trade. The Broncos move up to 6 with the Dolphins, and they take Mac Jones.
The Broncos take Mac Jones? Yep. Is that what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, okay.
He fits their their style
That's
of
what Elway
quarterback.
loves.
That's for sure. Yeah.
But he's not making the decisions anymore. It's George Payton, but he's got some influence.
I have a prediction. I have a prediction that I'm pretty certain is going to happen, but I'm like one of the only people that know about this.
Ooh.
This is breaking news on the uSTADIUM live. The New York Football Giants are going to trade up for a quarterback.
What?
Yes. Daniel Jones is done with the Giants. It's over. They are done. They got Kenny Galladay. They are not putting Daniel Jones out there, Giant fans. It is over. Your Daniel Jones experiment is done. They are going to trade up for a quarterback. It's going to be either Trey Lance or Justin Fields will end up with the New York Football Giants.
Where are the Giants picking right now? Aren't they at like 7?
11.
11.
They'll trade up, and they'll trade up.
6 through 8 are for sale, right?
4 could be for sale.
Yeah.
Interesting.
5-2. I could see the Bengals wanting to trade out of there if they're not convinced on
I think there's absolutely no way that happens. I don't want to shit on your prediction.
Why not? If they trade back and they want
a dope. That's why.
If they want Slater, let's say, and they know they could get him at 11 or 12, they can trade back, acquire some future assets. They're not in any sort of win now mode. I don't think it's the worst idea for the Bengals to trade back, considering how deep this draft is. The Bengals probably have the worst pick in this draft, by the way. Considering the amount of talent, I mean, they're going to end up going to have to get Sewell with who I would get. Yeah, I agree. But if they like Slater, I mean, it wouldn't be crazy if they traded back to 11 or 12.
No, I think the crazy part is the Giants, and they're so old school. Get him in, never trades up. I don't think he ever has. And they love this Daniel Jones dude. Like he's their. He's like their,
I think it's
their
over,
guy.
Nick.
So okay, are you standing by this?
Yeah, it's breaking news on the uSTADIUM app. I have a source that I've gotten chicken cullets with, he's told me all about this. So I'm telling you right now, when the Giants trade up for a quarterback, we'll come on uSTADIUM live in 2 weeks, because next week we're going to have our uSTADIUM show that is going to be brought to you by a special player that we've met before, and we know Nick or Brianna, if you guys want to come in. But yes, Holden, I
didn't get my bold prediction.
Oh yeah, you cut her off.
You jerk! I agree with you all day, and then you just skip over me.
Yep.
Nagging.
My bold prediction: the Patriots are not taking a quarterback in the first round. It will be in the second round, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. Yes, I genuinely think that has a better chance of happening than them trading up for Justin Fields.
Yeah,
Kellen Mond's pretty impressive, by the way.
Smith and Kellen Mond.
Nick, what's your hate with Devonta Smith? We have to talk about this off air. I'm calling you after the show.
I don't hate him. I don't. Trust me, I don't. I actually really like him as a person. He seems like a really good guy. He's a good player. I just don't think he's a top 10 pick at all.
All right.
You think Jalen Waddle is?
Do we want to talk about
probably
next
wouldn't
week?
take a lot of that. Yeah, so we have a few things to promote here, which we'd like to do at the end of the show. One, you can see on the ticker that Splash so eloquently posted for us here. If you go on the app right now, see in the little ticker, you click, uSTADIUM Mock Madness Contest. Put your email in there. We will send you a link to sign up, and it's free to enter. 1 entry per person. First place, you're either winning an Xbox or a PS5. Second place, you're winning the number 1 pick of your team's jerseys. But if it's the Seahawks or the Texans or the Rams, we can do something else. Or in 3 to 5 gets a draft hat of their team. And now 6 to 10 is getting some chicken cutlet sandwiches. So we'll throw that in there. So that's free to enter. Do it on the app now. 2, we're doing a mega fan mock draft on Sunday at 6:00. So we have our community of super fans on Instagram and Twitter. They'll be doing a mock draft, and we'll be hosting it live on here. I think me and Splash are going to be running that on Sunday evening. Tune into that. We'll throw the link up. That'll be fun. You guys can call in, chime in, and whatnot. And 3, the virtual uSTADIUM draft party. The uSTADIUM draft party has always been our crown event that we do. I've had guys like Khalil Mack, Jadeveon Clowney, Victor Cruz, Mo Wilkerson when he wasn't awful at football. who else, Frank? I'm forgetting a bunch of other guys. Le'Veon Bell,
Sheldon Richardson,
Sheldon.
Roll.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had so many guys, come in and out of our draft parties. Obviously, we can't do a live one with
Nick. Tell them the story about when Sheldon Richardson called you.
Oh my God! What did he say? He goes,
he's like, y'all got that juice?
He's like, yeah. He said, y'all got that juice. I'm like, what? He's like, that juice. He's like, I'm like, oh. I was like, yeah. We'll take care of you. It's open, open bar. We'll send drinks to the table and shit like that.
I had no idea what he was.
Yeah, it took a little while for me to register. He's like, that's all he wanted to show up at the event.
Yeah, he wanted like a bottle of champagne.
Juice. I'm like, yeah, whatever you want.
He was actually the coolest out of all those players.
He was funny. He
was the nicest, coolest one out of it. He was so chill. I was just chatting with him for a while. So humble and nonchalant.
I remember the famous Snapchat video of him and Rontez Miles in the locker room before a Jet game when he goes, he's like, man, forget this game. I can't say it, but where the girls at, basically. And he's like, right before they're about to play a game, and the Jets were terrible, obviously. I could find it and post it somewhere, but. We'll be doing a virtual mock draft. It's going to be hosted by Scott Mason from Play Like a Jet. Frank, myself, Brianna will be in there. CJ Mosley of the Jets is going to be here for the Jets pick, so he'll come on, probably like 8:30, and then again by 11 o'clock when the Jets pick. Hunter Henry, host of Flow Bros on uSTADIUM, is going to be here with Talk with Brianna during the Pats pick. A bunch of other guests, NFL players and media will come on and talk about the important picks and quarterback situations and stuff. So it's going to be live on our YouTube, on our Twitch, on the app. This is Thursday, probably started around 7 o'clock. Go through the entire first round. You'll see myself, you'll see Frank, you'll see Bree, you'll see Splash, you'll see Scott, some players, some media people. We'll get you guys hopefully into these. I know a lot of people don't like to come and video in. We'd love to have you guys doing that. So if you want to come in and talk about a pick, make a pick, what you would do here and there, you can call in. It's going to be just, kind of just a hangout for all the uSTADIUM users, our Twitter fans, our Instagram fans. So it's going to be cool. We didn't do anything really last year for it. It was a weird year, so hopefully this kind of gets everybody back into the draft party mood.
Sounds good. Oh, man.
Bree, you better call in after the Patriots pick.
I'm going to
be on the
Patriots
pick.
Because
I want to see your opinion. I need to see your live reaction to this pick.
We haven't gotten a Bree pick for the Pats, like her ideal pick. Is it Devonta Smith?
Yeah. If he falls to 15, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Patriots are going to draft a no-name defensive lineman that always ends up going in the first
Probably.
round. I'm telling you.
Christian Barmore from Alabama.
Would not doubt me. I wouldn't doubt it. Bill, at this point, does nothing to surprise me. I feel like I've been around enough to know that what I expect is going to happen is never going to happen.
Yeah, or maybe a safety.
So, hey, I wouldn't mind.
Trayvon Moehrig. Could be him.
I would be okay with that.
Zaven Collins, maybe. Moehrig, Dakota. I know Splash likes him. I could see the Pats taking him.
By the way,
Splash,
mock draft today, I saw the Ravens taking, guess who? Guess who moved up in the first round all of a sudden? Since I started talking about him, Terrace Marshall Jr.
Oh, I mean, that's a great Ravens.
They have the Ravens getting him 27th. You should
Splash says no.
Should be
Why not?
dancing.
Come on, Splash. Tell us who you want. Give us the Ravens perfect.
Bring him in. There he is.
Okay.
The producer of the decade.
Okay, I want Rashad Bateman. You can check out Monday's show with Justin and I for the reason why I want Rashad Bateman. If it's not Bateman, I want Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma. If it's not Creed Humphrey out of Oklahoma, I want Tevin Jenkins. If Jenkins isn't on the board,
can't have him.
Morig's fine. I don't really think Baltimore needs a safety. I don't know why people think Chuck Clark and Deshaun Elliott suck. I don't know. They're perfectly fine safeties. Neither of them suck. But I'm not a huge fan of Marshall. I think part of it, you have the secondary production with LSU that he was behind Chase and Jefferson. And then this year, was it Miles Brennan? Some garbage generic LSU quarterback between the years that they're good. I don't know. I don't really see
the team was a disaster, though.
Yeah, that's true. Marshall's, I think you can get a player comparable to Marshall in the second round.
Probably.
So, love you too, Justin. So if the Ravens, if Terrace Marshall's the best player available, take a wide receiver in the next round, trade down, accumulate assets. Nothing against Marshall. I think he can be a good pro. I don't want him at 27. There's plenty of other players that I would prefer to have at 27. And Marshall isn't high enough on my board that he would be the best player available. So like Trevon Moehrig, I don't really want Moehrig, but there's a chance that he's the best player available. But I want Bateman.
Well, you guys need a running back, Splash. So what about Najee Harris or ETN?
I've worked with Frankie for almost 2 years now. I've heard a lot of like questionable things. Your hate for J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, like
give me a freaking break.
If it was like, if I made a list of guys that I expect Frankie to like, Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins would be on that list. And then
I thought he would like Dobbins too.
Yeah,
I think he does. I just think he was
after the Bills.
I like Dobbins. I swear I do. It's just Ravens fans think he's their solution at running back, and the way they want to play ball, they're not going to want a guy like Dobbins.
Their quarterback is their best running back.
They need a workhorse back. They like their every down kind of downhill runner. Dobbins is not that.
Okay, so 33-year-old Mark Ingram is what?
There's a reason you guys liked him, though. You're going to want a workhorse kind of back. I'm telling you. You're not going to go into next season with Dobbins.
He's Ezekiel Elliott without the name value.
What's the most carries he had last year in a game? I know we went through this. I have it up right now. He didn't have one game over 15 carries, Splash.
Your point?
You want to get the Ravens want a guy who gets 20 carries, 25.
Okay,
they want 45 carries from the running back.
He's going to get fired up, Frank.
J.K. Dobbins is fresh. Gus Edwards is fresh. Lamar Jackson is fresh. How do you stop the Ravens' rushing attack? You don't. They have the number 1 and number 2 most yards per carry since the merger. That's not a fluke. That's because Lamar Jackson's there. That's because Gus Edwards is great. And that's because J.K. Dobbins, again, is Ezekiel Elliott without the name value, without the 2014 National Championship, and without the little crop top thing. If you had the imagery, J.K. Dobbins was probably a first-round pick. And if you draft him in 2016, he's probably a first-round pick. But in 2020, you don't take running backs in the first round unless you're the Chiefs. And the Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire, pretty good running back, not worth the value at number 32.
Why are you talking about Gus? Why do you talk so highly of Gus Edwards? Also, J.K. Dobbins, I agree. So you're the Ravens. You love to run the ball. You can run this option read. It's open field play. Yep. It's an open ticket. You can rush for 250 yards a game if you want running the option read.
Okay.
Why would you want to do that with Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins when you could draft a running back like Najee Harris? You have Najee Harris and J.K. Dobbins. I'll give you Dobbins. I like him, but
okay.
Why would you use
allocation?
Okay, it's asset allocation. You don't need to draft another running back. I actually wasn't a huge fan of the Dobbins pick itself, like taking a running back. I like the player. He was my number 1 or number 2 running back. I am as a top 30 prospect. That's not the point. The Thunder and Lightning aspect, again, Dobbins is Ezekiel Elliott without the name value. Watch the film at OSU. He was tremendous. He has every ounce of juice you could possibly want, and that's why I thought he was an upgrade over Ingram. Check the receipts. I wrote a JK. It's called J.K. Dobbins. Just know its value for overtime heroics. Check it. I said right at the end, he may not start the season, but by the end of the year, he will win you a fantasy league because he's.
You know what J.K. stands for in J.K. Dobbins? You know exactly what it stands for.
J.K.
As a number 1 running back. A joke.
Oh shit! I think Splash came
joke
ready.
Dobbins.
Whoa. No. Okay. Anyways, Thunder and Lightning. Gus Edwards, physical. He doesn't lose yards. You know, he is one of the lowest. Like
doesn't lose yards. That's it.
He is one of the lowest.
That's your positive thing on the guy. Then
he is one of the lowest negative rush yards like rates. Like say Derrick Henry. He's gonna have some good runs, so he's gonna have some -1, -2, -1, -2, right? Gus Edwards has none of those. His like bad runs are 1 or 2 yards. That's his worst. That's his floor. That's his floor. His ceiling, he had a 60-yard touchdown run against Houston. He's a very physical runner. He's great for that Thunder and Lightning with Lamar Jackson, Lamar on the edge, or you can run the inverted veer, which I love running. But you have Gus Edwards pound up the middle. J.K. Dobbins has the juice. Again, Ezekiel Elliott, but not the name value. And then Lamar Jackson is probably the best athlete on the field most games he's in. Yes or no?
I agree. The last point you said, I agree with. I love Lamar Jackson. I Still don't understand how you can compare J.K. Dobbins with Ezekiel Elliott.
Watch the film. Watch the film. I know it's kind of like the jersey scouting. I get it, but watch it. Watch the juice. Dobbins.
We'll see.
Special in Columbus.
We'll see next season.
You don't see it because he had the down senior year. He was great as a junior, and he was really good this year. And then again, freshness matters in the NFL. There's a reason Derrick Henry went 18 carries, 40 yards, 2.2 yards per carry in the playoffs. It's because he didn't have fresh legs. He got killed against Green Bay. He got killed against Baltimore. That's the reason why Tennessee lost. How does Baltimore go on a 5-0 run in December and early January? Oh, because Lamar is fresh, and J.K. Dobbins, who hasn't had 15 carries all year, is fresh, and Gus Edwards is fresh, and geriatric Mark Ingram is getting DNPs.
Geriatric.
Look, they better go and get your boy Lamar some receivers because that clock is ticking, that's for sure. You're about to pay this dude, and he's not going to be cheap.
Sammy Watkins is good at football.
He sucks.
Sammy Watkins is fine, but he's not the solution to the problem. There are real life people that think he's going to be a wide receiver 1 in Baltimore. Please watch football. Please, I beg of you. Also, Watkins blocks. I know there's some Steelers fans.
He's fine. He's a 1-year guy.
Willie Snead is a better blocker. Watkins blocks too. So if you're concerned about blocking, hey, guess what? Ronnie Stanley, he's back. Nick Boyle, he's going to be back.
You know, who's going to be back? Hollywood Brown as your number 1 receiver.
In the playoffs.
Are they trading Orlando Brown, Splash? Is this like a lock or what?
I actually don't think so. I know as from what I've seen, it looks like he's going to play right tackle. And I would actually imagine Ronnie Stanley might be down to play right tackle because I've talked about it on my show that money is one thing, playing left tackle is one thing, but Orlando Brown's dad played left tackle for the Ravens, and I get that's huge sentimental value. I'm never going to trash him for that. I can trash a player for wanting too much money. I can trash a player for wanting to play a specific position. Can't trash him for wanting to follow his dreams. I think Ronnie Stanley is a guy that if there's any all-pro left tackle in football, granted there's not too many of them, if there's an all-pro left tackle, it's like I will sacrifice my name value, my name recognition to move to right tackle. And of course, Stanley's already been paid, so there's that. So if we see an Orlando Brown left tackle, Ronnie Stanley right tackle, that would be like a dream.
Yeah, it's a good group.
So, and of course, Orlando, this is his last year on contract, so there's potential for the Ravens to draft Tevin Jenkins, Elijah Vera Tucker, any number of guys. You play the John Ogden role for a year, then kick them out to right tackle. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as Ogden, but that's what they did in 96, 97.
You know, you guys should draft Travis Etienne if he's there. That's what I think. Either him or Najee Harris.
If you get Bateman, you run that pick in, man.
Talk about this for the last 20 minutes.
I love Bateman.
All right, Bree, you wanted to say something about hockey, and then we'll leave? Is that what we want to do?
Yeah, but you guys, I mean, I was,
Splash, good job, bro.
Don't really give a crap.
Some people might.
I was just going to talk about how the Bruins made the trade for Taylor Hall and also Mike Riley and Curtis Lazar, who are not contributing. And they are 5-0. Hopefully, game just started. Hopefully going to be 6-0 since making that trade. A lot of people had a lot to say about Taylor Hall. He was in a really bad situation in Buffalo. I mean, they suck. But he's never been on a good team. He's always been labeled as the locker room cancer, toxic teammate, things like that. So I just think it's pretty interesting that once he comes to a good team, he gets a little bit of confidence. He contributes, and they're on a run right now. So, but this isn't a hockey show, so
it's all right. You get your.
Whoever understood that, love you.
And you know what? It's not going to be a baseball show either, the way my Yankees are playing. We gave up 3 runs already. The game just started. We gave up 3 runs. Yeah.
We can talk
about
Vermont
is trash city. The Yankees are trash. The only good thing about the Yankees right now is that they're batting Aaron Judge third, finally. They finally listen, Nick. They finally have a decent lineup. Gardner 1. Yep. Gardner 1, LeMahieu 2, Judge 3. That's a freaking lineup. About time.
Why is Brett Gardner playing over what's-his-face? Carrot Top. What's his name?
Frazier
stinks too.
Yeah, Frazier's been pretty bad.
Is batting 171. Frazier's batting 171.
He's been terrible.
Torres has been awful. They need to move him back to second. They should have never put him at shortstop. They're just a mess. They brought up Mike Ford, who actually has a run in this game. Oh, the Yankees just got. Whoa, let's go. All right. Torres single to right center.
Oh, wow.
LeMay scores
As he was just talking shit about
and
the
Mike,
guy.
and Ford scored on a fielding error, and then LeMay who's eating right now. Let's go. It's my guy. Let's see.
Taylor Hall. That sounds like a 16-year-old TikTok star.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
It does.
Like, it could be a guy or a girl, too. Either one. Pick whatever you want.
No, he definitely does sound like he should be doing dances on
Speaking of dancing on TikTok, R.I.P. to my guy EDP, the Eagles fan who got ousted for being a creep. Dude, you're done, brother.
Yeah.
You are finito, and you're
That's
an
for
idiot.
sure.
And what's wrong with? Was he joking in that clip? I know fans were talking like, they asked him like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm grabbing a cupcake." Like, was that all planned with those people, or was that not? Did you guys see the clip with EDP?
Yeah.
Whatever. I have no fucking clue. That whole YouTube world, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
R.I.P. to the once go, now woe EDP.
Yes, definitely. That's for sure. Well, we'll see everybody. We won't be here at 6 next week. We will be here at 7 with the virtual draft party again. Do the enter the contest. Go to the app right now. Go to the ticker. Go to mock draft contest. Mega fan mock draft on Sunday at 6 p.m. Virtual draft 7 p.m. Thursday. It's going to be really cool. We'll release some more information on the app and on our social channels at uSTADIUM. Follow them all. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Click the like button. I stole Frank's line here today. And Bree, send us home.
Yeah, we are out of here. Like Frankie said at the beginning of the show, don't drink on a weeknight because you will take naps all day the following day and get none of your work done, which I did today. So learn from me, children. We'll see you next week. We finally got the draft, so we can stop talking about this stuff every week.
We're going to be missing it in June, though. We'll be dying for stuff.
Yeah, we'll be missing it right away.
I know. Eduardo, you're a legend on the app too. Give him a shout out. Yeah,
shout out to Eduardo, the GOAT.
Shout out Eduardo. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next Thursday, 7 p.m. draft party.